Hi beautiful, welcome to this video, How the Mind Works. So if I'm asking you to change your mindset so that you can change your life, that sounds kind of simple, but if you don't know how the mind works, it's very difficult for you to operate it. It's the same as saying, here's a really beautiful car, but you've never learned how to drive. So you don't know how this thing works. You can't get from destination A to B. But if you know how this car works and putting in the clutch or turning on the engine, using the steering wheel, looking at your rear view mirrors, then you can actually go somewhere. You can drive this car. So right now, you might want to make a change of your mindset, but you have no idea. So this is what I'm going to explain in this video in a really simple and understanding way. So I watched a video a couple of years ago by a monk called Dandapani, and he explains that the way that the mind works is we have to look at it with two aspects. So one part of the mind is this vast area, this really big space. It's got lots of different areas within the mind. So one area might be happiness, one area might be sadness, one area might be food, might be sex, might be exercise, might be art, fashion, travel, lots of different areas within your mind. And then there is awareness. And awareness is like a glowing ball of light that can move to any of these areas in your mind. Now, when your awareness or when your glowing ball of light goes to one of these areas in the mind, such as happiness, it lights up that area of the mind and you become conscious of that. So you become conscious of the feeling of happiness. The same thing, if you move this glowing ball of light and your awareness to the sad part of your mind, then you start becoming conscious of that sadness, and then that's what you start to feel. So we have control of where we place our awareness in our glowing ball of light. As I said, if the glowing ball of light goes to the happy part of the mind, it starts to light this up. You start becoming conscious of feeling happy. So the question is, are you happy right now? No, you are not happy. That is not your identity. You're just in the area of the mind that is happiness. So you're starting to feel happiness. But very easily we can move that glowing ball of light to that sad area of the mind. That lights up. You start becoming conscious of feeling sad. And then again, are you sad? Is that who you are? Is that your identity? No, you're just in the area of the mind that is feeling sadness, because that is where your glowing ball of light is, and that is where your awareness is. So this starts to become really beautiful for us to understand that we have the power of where we're placing our awareness. That is why in module 1 I was talking about awareness and how powerful it is. So what we can start to do is we can move our awareness and we can choose and we can decide where we want to place our focus, where we want to actually place this ball of light and our attention. If you want to become someone in your future and you want to make a change and you know what it is that that version of yourself does, you need to start thinking like her. But what's so lovely is that you are not a victim. It's not that negative things are happening to you or that you are always down or depressed or anxious. You get to choose where you're placing that ball of energy, where you're placing that awareness, and you can choose to then think more positive thoughts. And every time that you're feeling down, you can say, hold on a second, I know exactly what's going on. It's my ball of light, it's my awareness, and I'm busy focusing on this area in my mind. I can make a change and I can choose with discipline to focus on something else. Another thing we have to understand about the mind, though, is that the mind wants to keep you safe. So that is the job of the mind. So thousands of years ago, when we were hunters and gatherers and we were living in the wilderness, we all lived in a tribe and we all lived in a pack. Now, it was safe there. If you decided one day just to start walking around and start exploring and looking, oh, what's that happening over there? That looks really interesting. Then you could very well be eaten by a lion, or you're an easy target, you are prey. But if you stay with the pack, if you stay in the comfort zone, if you stay with what you know that you are safe. This is the safe zone. So nowadays, we're not living in the wilderness, but the mind is still wired this way. The mind still wants to keep you in that familiar zone and what you know, because at least the mind knows that this is safe then, and this is what is needed for your survival. So throughout your life, if you've been doing certain things or experiencing certain things, the mind wants to keep you doing those things, even if it is not serving you, because the mind knows that this is what you know. So if you say one day tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go and exercise. When you wake up in the morning and you start to do something different and you say, let me exercise, the mind will say, don't do this. Why are you doing this? This is absurd. You don't want to do that. It's not safe. You're getting out the comfort zone. We want to stay in the comfort zone because the comfort zone is the safe zone. So when we want to make a change in our life, it is not always easy in the beginning because we have to be stronger than that habitual mindset that just plays on repeat. We have to say, I know what my vision is and I know what you're doing, mind. You're trying to keep me safe, but not today. So we have to start making the unfamiliar familiar, and that's through discipline, just repetition, repetition, repetition. And then that thing starts to become so familiar to you that if you don't do it, the mind says, what are you doing? We have to continue to do this because this is the safe zone now. This is what is familiar. So if we now understand then that we have this awareness that we can choose where we place our awareness and where we place our focus, we have to start becoming disciplined to start noticing when we are hanging out and when we're in those more negative or sad or depressing or limiting thoughts and areas in the mind, because you are the only one that can change that. So awareness, once again, is absolute key. You have to start noticing where your awareness is and what you're focusing on. And you have to start focusing on more uplifting and positive and empowering thoughts so that you start to feel this way as well. And every single time that you have this doubt or you have this negative talk, you have to start saying, mind, I know what you're doing. I know you're trying to keep me safe. I know this is what I've been doing and this is what is familiar, but I don't want to be the same person that I was yesterday. So I have to start doing things differently, which means I have to start thinking differently and I have to start taking different action. This is where accountability comes in. This is where we need to share with other people about what it is that we want to do. These are my goals. These are my dreams. I'm going to stick to it so that when you are maybe feeling down, you can lean on your sisters. You can lean on other people that are there to support you. But the main thing that I want you to remember, again, coming back to that quote from Henry Ford, if you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. So we have to start changing the way that we are thinking. We have to start saying things about ourselves that are positive, that are empowering. If we say we can never achieve that, that is what's going to unfold in your life. Right now, you have to be your biggest cheerleader and you have to have that vision of the future and then say, how do I have to start showing up as that? But the first step before taking any action is changing the way that you think. So understanding how the mind works and knowing that it is going to try and keep you safe and is going to try and hold you back sometimes because that's what it thinks you need for your survival. But we don't actually want to be the same person that we were yesterday. We don't want that version of ourselves to survive. We want to create someone brand new. So start becoming really aware, as we've spoken about before, but start becoming really aware of where you are placing your focus, because what you're putting your attention onto and where you're placing your energy into, that is going to expand into your life and that is going to be creating your life. So we have to start being aware of putting our thoughts and our energy into things that are uplifting us and are creating our future dream and getting us one step closer to that life that we want to create. So start becoming really aware of your mindset and what you are thinking, and you'll start to see how everything starts to shift in your life.